So there's this quote that I really love, and it's the bird doesn't sit on the branch because it trusts the branch, but because it trusts its wings to catch it if the branch breaks and it falls. And so I really love that quote because a big part of it was my upbringing and never really having a stable home and all that kind of stuff. And so now, sometimes I'll wake up and say, what if I lose it all? But that metaphor and that quote always reminds me that it's not about the branch. It's not about what I'm standing on, but it's about my wings and my skills and my abilities that are going to catch me. So if all of it goes away tomorrow, I can rebuild everything because I have those wings, I have those skills.
Mother lover, you gon' love this. Graduated from a rebel to a revolutionary in my area, they love this. I'ma wreck it like I'm revving the engine, heaven's ascension, every dimension, give me attention. Look at my soul, look at my heart, look at my hope. Got the world on my back, but I carry it though. Tell him God got my hand, I ain't letting it go. I came from the side of the ocean. Swim with the best of them, I can't deny.
Selling on Amazon allowed me to own my life. I can do whatever I want. I've been able to make more money than I ever thought I would. And so I now live this awesome life, but I think I'm just getting started. There's a lot I have to learn, and I don't want to stop where I am now. I could probably live a nice and comfortable life, but I hate comfort, and I thrive in being uncomfortable because that means that I can grow and I can get better. And obviously that's why I love MMA so much, is because I'm always put in these uncomfortable positions. My name is Mina Elias. So I was born in Egypt and only stayed there for a couple of years. My family's from Egypt, my parents are from Egypt, and my grandparents are from Egypt. But I was only there for 2 years before my dad got a job in Dubai.
Got them right where I want them. You don't really want them problems. Run slow, your heels are beyond them. Want them all in our dreams.
It was this brand new country. It was just being built up. My dad had a really good job. He was the youngest sales director. I was actually starting to become a little bit spoiled. And I remember this one time, I was at the Toys R Us and my dad said, go get a toy. I'll get you any toy. And I remember coming back with like 5 or 6 toys and saying, I want all of these. And there was like $150. And he said, hey, like that's kind of a lot. Like, can you pick like 2? And I started crying and I said, no, like I want all of them. So we were used to going out, having fun, always eating out, always, doing fun things and spending a lot of money. And it shifted from that to not being able to do anything. And I asked my parents, I was like, what's going on? And finally my mom caved in and said, your dad lost his job, so we don't have any money. That was a little bit tough to pretend to all of my friends and always have to come up with new lies and new excuses as to why I can't go out. But that also helped me because a very good reason for that became I need to go to church. And at the same time, it was kind of my escape because when I did go to church, I didn't have to worry about material things because that's kind of frowned upon in the church. And so that was also a good way for me becoming closer to God. And I think that's one of the biggest things that shapes me today, not having any material things. So that had a big impact on me, and that's what drives me now. So I worked really hard in college and I graduated top of my class as a chemical engineer, got a job, and started my 9 to 5. And I thought that I was kind of on that path that everyone told me that I should be on, which is graduate, get good grades, get a good job, and then work your way up the corporate ladder. And then driving home, it kind of hit me. I looked at my life and I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, training, working, training, going to sleep. So one day in my last job, that 9 to 5 one, it started snowing a little bit early. I think it was noon. And I decided I should leave work, for it to be safer for me to drive home. There was a lot of windy roads on the way home. And one of my roads, there was snow starting to accumulate. And on the way home, my car started sliding. And I was only going 10 or 15 miles an hour, but eventually it hit the side rail and the car kind of broke from the front. The wheel kind of got bent in. I got home and I called my boss. I said, hey, this happened. I crashed my car. The wheel's not working. I need a few hours in the morning to fix it and then I can come into work. And that's when she said, you're on your own time. So this is coming out of your personal time off, my vacation time. To me, I felt like I was at the mercy of that person. It was a horrible feeling. And that's when I knew I never wanted to be in that position again and not work for anyone else anymore. I had to be on my own. So when I was like 11 or 12 years old, my mom would go shopping at the mall a lot. And we lived near a lot of different malls. And so she would go and stop at every single store. And for me, that was boring. So I would say, hey, just leave me at GNC and I'll stay here and then you do all your shopping and then come back and get me. And so I would stay there for hours looking at every single product, looking at the ingredients. I was buying into it. I was a huge consumer. So coming from a consumer that was absolutely obsessed with these supplements and then growing into someone that started looking at the chemical literature and saying, hey, I need to understand how these things work. I was sitting down on vacation. I was doing some research on supplements. I wanted to buy like a specific protein, but none of the proteins that I wanted had certain things. And so I was like, man, I gotta buy this protein and then these other 3 ingredients to add it to the protein. My dad said, what are you doing? Like, why are you researching so much on your phone? I said, I'm looking for this specific protein powder. Nothing is really good. And I'm trying to make this combination for something that I really like. And he said, why don't you just make your own? And I was like, I don't know, like make my own supplements, like make a company? Like, you know how much money that costs? Probably like so much money. And he said, well, how much money is it? Like, how much does it cost? Like, look into it. And that actually got me thinking, because for the first time, I would go on Amazon.com, search the ingredients in bulk from bulk supplements, and then I would say, okay, let's take this supplement, mix it with this supplement. How much is it gonna be per serving and how much is it gonna be per container? And so the numbers came out to like $5 to make it and then, $30 to sell it. And I said, these are incredible margins. Like I could definitely make this, and yeah, maybe I don't know how to do labels or whatever. So let's start with something simple. Let's put it in a bag and then I put a sticker on top of it, mix the stuff. Once I mixed the products at home, I tried it out on myself. And then I said, okay, this stuff really works, but I'm probably biased, right? The person who makes the stuff is usually biased. So I posted on Facebook, I said, hey guys, I'm officially the owner of MMA Nutrition, my new supplement brand, and I'm going live. And someone commented and he said, hey man, in 3 weeks I have this MMA event. So I can get you a booth there for free. Just get a banner, get some products, show up, and it'll be awesome. I said, okay, cool. Showed up to the event and I showed up with 40 products, 40 units, and 25 out of the 40 sold. But then people kept asking me, they said, where can I buy this? Like, I would love to buy this. Maybe I don't have cash right now or something. And I just felt so dumb because I didn't know what to tell them. I said, I'm not sure. And then I said, hey, it's gonna be on Amazon in a few weeks. And so that was kind of just like this lie to protect myself because I was so embarrassed. Like, how can you show up as a company with products but not have anywhere to sell it? And so I went home that day and I was like, okay, well, I told everyone it was gonna be on Amazon. Now I gotta figure out how to get it on Amazon.
What it do, what it does, where you been, where you was, what it ain't, what it is. Face in the mud, I really be hating in the mud. Said I can't pick it up, but I did. Y'all know Goon put too much bass in the sub. Cup full of blood and I gave it a chug. Wait till your neighbors get all snug, then play this real loud where you live.
The first days of me getting into e-commerce and getting into Amazon, it's like this whole new field I don't know anything about. And I was making every single mistake under the sun you can think of. Because I went from this really good engineer who knows how to do his job to someone who's managing an entire brand, has to learn everything from scratch, has to be a business owner, needs to understand finances and everything like that. So I was making all these mistakes and I figured there's gotta be a better way to learn. One of the first ones that I did was when I sent in my first 100 units, I never checked it, I never inspected it. I just kind of trusted the person that I was paying was gonna do their job. And 60 out of the 100 broke during the shipping. So going from making money on Amazon and actually thinking that I had a successful business and I was making maybe 10, 15 sales a day, to losing everything completely, not having any income, it kind of broke me because I was like, okay, I'm never gonna quit my job. I'm never gonna leave this. I'm stuck in this life. One morning I was at the gym and I was going to LA Fitness every morning, swimming. And I remember stepping out of the pool, looking at my phone because I was checking my Amazon sales every like 3 minutes. And I remember looking at the sales from yesterday and I got like 10 sales. So I said, let me check. It's probably my friends or someone. And I was looking at the order numbers and the names and it was these random people from Ohio and Kansas. And that's when the whole shift happened.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Tacos Tuesday, typically with Vince, but we've got Vince and Mina today. How you doing, Mina?
Amazing. It's Tuesday, so we're just getting started.
It is Tuesday. It's Tacos Tuesday.
So I first stumbled upon Helium 10 when in the early days I was trying to figure out how do I sell on Amazon. I was watching a ton of YouTube videos and the word Helium 10 kept popping up and I was like, what on earth is Helium 10? So I did some research into it and it turns out that it's a tool that can actually tell me what keywords people are searching for products using. So for example, people who are searching for my product are maybe searching electrolyte powder or electrolyte supplement or hydration powder. And I didn't know any other way of getting that data. And the good thing about that is, first of all, I could tell what people were looking for, and then second of all, I can say what my competition was ranking for. It's very important for me to look at my competition because these are people who have already been successfully selling. And so studying them, I didn't have any other way other than Helium 10. So I think MMA plays a huge part in my life and my mindset right now, and especially comes from my mindset. 3 years after I joined MMA, I switched gyms and I went to this other gym, and the coach there was called Nick Newell. And Nick actually has one arm, so he's a one-armed fighter. And I always said, that's impossible. Like, how can you be a fighter with one arm? Like, how can you block punches or kicks or whatever? Like, how can you stand in front of another guy with two arms and fight? He's fought on the UFC stage, Bellator, all these big promotions. And so watching him and how he has no excuses and he doesn't make any excuses and he holds himself accountable to his performance, and he doesn't say, well, I have an excuse because I have one arm so I should be treated differently, or I didn't try hard enough, or I could have done this and that better, and then shows up the next day and starts training and practicing to become better. And that really changed me because it imparted that whole no excuses mindset. If something in my life, it's not where I want it to be, it's because of me. It's because of the decisions I'm making, and I have to look at myself, my habits, what decisions I'm making right now, and then adjust that so I can get to the desired outcome that I want.
The way that I evaluate the different PPC campaigns is if it is one that's like protected, for example, like electrolyte powder. Electrolyte powder, I don't think has ever dropped under 90% ACOS for me ever.
So selling on Amazon is not black and white, right? It's not you go from zero to selling on Amazon and you're either successful or not successful. A lot of it depends on you as a person. So there's someone who sold on Amazon on day one and didn't have a lot of skills. And then there's someone who sold on Amazon on day one and did have a lot of skills. And obviously, one person is gonna have a much bigger advantage than the other person. So if you do sell on Amazon and your first product's not successful, that's okay, because once you quit, then there's not even a sliver of hope and there's 0% chance that you're gonna succeed. But as long as you never quit, you'll never fail because you're just gonna keep learning and learning, and eventually you're gonna make it. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about starting, I would say start right now. So for me, I think I've become a decent enough entrepreneur to keep growing businesses and growing brands. But I think the next thing that I want to get into to start actually making a bit bigger of a difference. And so maybe I've been going on podcasts and helping people start, and maybe I gave someone a tip or two that allowed them to succeed or something like that. But I want to take it to the next level. I actually want to impact a lot more lives. And I think the first step is to actually identify what I do know and what I can help other people with, and then start delivering that message more effectively. At that point, I'm not doing it for the money anymore. I'm more doing it for an impact, and that's what's going to drive me, because at some point the money is not going to make a difference. If I could go back in time to 2014 when I graduated college, and I can meet a Mina, someone who is me right now, and he could tell me his story and tell me that it doesn't have to be that way, and I don't have to go through all of the struggles that I went to realize that I was doing something that I never really wanted to do. And if I can save all that time and energy and effort and pain for someone else, I never got the chance to do that, but if I could do that for someone else, I think I would be very happy.